Blink is your boy Ink. Welcome to another commentary show. Because we're doing well, having a wonderful day on this 2nd October 2005. Finds out that it's kind of cool because we're doing the second movie of the Scream franchise. I'm sorry. This is most a part two because we did part one before, which means that instead of doing Scream 3, I'm going to do part 3, Scream part 3. And then we're gonna do Scream Part 4. We watched just two of them today. Scream 2 as a movie, now focus. It's a little bit less good, right? So you have the character of Courtney Cox, which now so I'm gonna set you up in the universe. And the first one in the universe is kind of simple. It's a killer that walks around and kills people. That's as simple as that. However, in the second one, there's more of a lore. There's more of a universe created. Now, the cool thing about the part two is it's not a world that's created. No, it's the people that you know from the first movie that evolved. For example, Gail Weather. She goes in, and this is super nice. Such a good movie. Second one, I kissed the ass of the first one because it was extremely good. Second one was good too, which is not as good. I will say one of my complaints for the two of them is the killing scene or the fighting scene. They're a bit long. They're a bit dragged out. So this didn't really like it. Oh, by the way, the first movie I'm going to do my MVP kill, Tatum in the garage door. Simple as that. My girl is my world. Plus nipple poking out. It was a good show. It's super cool because you walk it. So you see the second movie, right? And it feels kind of crazy. And this is what I love about it. So you realize that the town in the first one was Westboro. What made me think of Woodboro. What made me think about Woodbury from Walking Dead. But that may be me being ADHD, possibly. The really cool thing here is in the second one, you follow Gail, and okay, well, she's rich. She made movies. She wrote a book, and it's kind of cool because she always had ambition. So you're not making in new characters. You're reinforcing the fact that we knew about a character that existed before, which is kind of cool. Number two. What we have in number two. Number two is actually quite easy. Number two is the fact that we are literally in a movie that is a follow. So you find Gail Weather, and she's a superstar. You find Sydney as the second characters, and I'll be completely honest. I don't remember who's the first character, but Sydney is there. Now the cool thing is. The intro is a movie. The movie gets killed. Now, the movie getting killed is kind of cool because, okay, so what's going on is, and this is the beauty of Scream 2. It feels like a completely pointless scene because there's Jade Smith, which is the wife of Will Smith that I don't like because of multiple reasons. I used to love Will, bro. I used to worship Will in the 90s. He's one of the big stars. Him, Eddie Murphy, they were huge back then, you know? And now they're semblance of a man. They're shadow of their once glory. But hey, who am I to complain? I'm just a normal guy from Lachine, Montreal. So it shows this, but this is super cool because it's literally a movie based on a true story of a serial killer. And in the theater, there's basically people wearing masks and they have fake knife. So this is kind of cool because you're like, okay, well, this is a publicity stunt. It's very poor flavor. It's very distasteful, but it's still something that's going on. I'm thinking in French. What did I like about the movie? Well, the fact that you meet those characters and they evolve. For example, you got the guy who's a geek about horror movie that made it out, and he's in the movie. The most, in my opinion, important scene of the movie is one of the first scenes. So they're in a movie class, right? And you can tell that is the 90s, and it's super fun because there's this. How can I say this? Ouch. Okay, good. That's good. That is bueno. We're gonna put out the. I'm gonna put out the airplane mode because I need to charge faster. Ouch. The scene in itself is super important for multiple reasons. You got a 90s class, which is a lot cooler than those class right now, and they're talking about movies. And it's kind of cool because they're talking about how so the first thing that they say, and this is cool because this is at the entrance of the movie. And the first part of this review, we talked about how it was a fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall on horror movie. And then there's killings. And the question that they're asking, which is a great question, is like, okay, well, are the killings in those movies related to if are the killings that are going on right now and the resurgence of Ghostface, are they because of the movie or not? And I think that it is, because it's basically looking for fame. Now the cool thing about this is you can only answer. My hairs are, I don't know why, they're all messy. I think I'm balding, people. I think I'm balding. So am I insecure? Absolutely, fucking absolutely. Um, with this, it's an answer because you saw the movie, right? And what I love about here, big spoiler, is the kid that is a killer, keeps on saying that there's sequels that are better, and he keeps on saying like, hey, for our movie, and it's, oh yeah, there's a sequel that is so good, there's a sequel that's so good, and you realize that this guy is a killer, which is the sequel of the first killer, which is Billy. Now, ultimately speaking, it's kind of stupid because he wants to be seen as a, so it's kind of nice actually. The motivation are stupid, but they're kind of nice. So the motivation is you want to be seen as a killer. You want to be seen as a Ted Bundy, as a Jeff Dahmer. You want to be seen as this horrible person, but still famous person, right? Which is kind of cool because we got Gail's Weather, who is living this dream. Okay, of course, what she did wasn't killing, but still. So yeah, so they're showing that, and then it's super cool because there's a first killing. Now Sydney is like, hey, should we worry? And this is really cool, really nice, because it does show that they're evolving. And Sydney's like, hey, should I be worried? And that's like, hey, no, we changed city, we changed school, let's live a normal life, we're good. Now this is really cool because you're seeing Sid growing. She has her boyfriend now, and it's become serious. It's the 90s. The guy gets on the table, he sings. It's supposed to be super cringy, but you really believe that back then this is how it was. However, there's a couple of scenes which is kind of pointless, but kind of super useful. Pointless in the sense of, okay, well, she's a sorority sister. She wants to get recruited, but then her boyfriend gives her necklace, and then her best friend's like, oh, but this is a big no-no. You shouldn't do that, right? This was kind of cool. This is kind of cool because you got the culture of back then. Now, ultimately speaking, why is it so cool? Because one of my favorite series ever, one of the only series of art that I've ever watched was Child Play. So in Child Play 1, we have Andy Barclay that's very young. Then in Child Play 2, we got Andy Barclay that's a kind of victim. He's afraid of Chucky, he misses his mom, nobody believes him, and he has huge emotional issues. And then Chucky 3, which is Child Play 3, which is, in my opinion, the worst of the Chucky movie. Well, the first one was also pretty bad, but the second one is a masterpiece. The third one is okay. The first one is okay. It's a Andy Barclay who is fully mature. He doesn't need people to believe him. He doesn't need people to know that Chucky is real. He doesn't need people to know that his mom was innocent. He is who he is. He is unapologetic about who he is. He's a badass. And if Chucky comes out, he's gonna have to defeat him. But if Chucky doesn't know, he have a normal life, which is something I adore. So with that, you're seeing the evolution of characters. Now, this is the super nice thing. You see the first one, you see Sid as the main character. You see the second one, you see Sid as the main character. And then there's 4 movies. Is she the main characters in every single movie? I don't know. Now, ultimately speaking, when I talk about how the second one is great, is because you follow characters. So, for example, Dewey, who had a crush on, my girl. No. Oh, damn. You guys, we have an emergency. Okay. It's not great, but it's gonna do the job. What is the emergency? This is empty. This is my battery pack. My girl, she will be my girl. There you go. It's not perfect, but I'll have to do the job. Luckily, I'm lazy and I left one of the charger outside. Luckily, this charger has solar panels, so there's something there. Yeah. So the character like Dewey, who was in love with Gail Winter, but got betrayed. You're like, okay, well, this is also kind of good. And Dewey's a hard character because they portrayed him as this guy who has mental deficiency. But is he not? I don't even know. his sister kind of is a bully, and she said, okay, well, when I'm wearing this uniform, I'm the sheriff, which is kind of cool. The movie in itself is great. There's a bunch of killing, which is kind of boring. The whole story is lacking. So you have the boyfriend, and you kind of think that he is the wrong guy. You got Cotton Wops, who is kind of the bad guy. Why? Because and this is what I don't like about the second movie, is because Cotton would be a perfect victim. He's like, yo, I got in prison because I killed somebody, but I was innocent, right? Nobody knew me before, but now that I spent a year in prison, I'm a celebrity. That's all I wanted. That is all I wanted. What the reason why he was in prison for 1 year? He got released because they found out the real killer. Duh. So then Cotton would be a good villain, because it's like, okay, well, he has a reason to wanting to kill Sydney, first of all, but second of all, he wants fame. He's really wanting a fame. The second one that you could see is somebody like Gales, because, and this is cool, because in the first one you had a lot of fourth wall breaking, which is, okay, well, horror movie this, horror movie that, don't do this, don't do that. In the second one, there's fourth wall breaking, but they're very subtle. For example, there's a bunch of reporter, right, who are bitches, and they're talking about Gail, and she's like, okay, well, Gail, she's hot. Courtney Cox, mwah. And they were like, hey, she's still, to this day, she's still beautiful. Just saying, just putting it out there. So they're saying, do you think Gail, as a reporter, because she's like, okay, well, they think about Dewey. They think that Dewey did it, right? And it's kind of cool because, see, the magic of the first movie was, it could have been anybody under that mask. All we knew was a mask and a knife. It could have been anybody, right? Then the second movie tried to recreate that, but very poorly. They're like, okay, well, do you think that she's Gail? She's like, what do you think that? She's like, well, if somebody is trying to copy Woodborough, then it could become someone from Woodborough. There's a couple people, which is Gail, there's Dwight, there is Sydney, there is the geek. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry, dude. But yeah, and it's actually quite nice. And this is super cool because it's a lot funnier also. For example, the cameraman is like, yo, your ex-cameraman got killed, so I have to be more careful. I thought it was funny. At the end, the ending is complete masterpiece. The movie in itself, good. The first one was great, the second one was good, the ending is amazing. So you realize who the killer is, and then you realize the killer, and this is kind of very good, because when you realize after the end, mentioned that he's a guy that said, hey, I want to be this killer, I want to be this famous person, I want to like a serial killer, right? And then he implies that the boyfriend of Sydney was a partner, right? But then you realize it's not him. So who it ends up being is the mom of Billy. So the mom of Billy is amazing, because we think that she's dead, but she's not dead. We think that she disappeared, but she didn't disappear. So the reason why she was gone is because Sydney's mom, who was a slut around town, slept with the father of Billy. And then she said, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to lose 60 pounds, and I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do whatever it takes, I'm going to lose the weight, I'll become like a badass, right? And you see this in the book, the movie, which is great. And then you realize that possibly the kid, I don't remember his name, but he plays in Hitman, he plays in one of my favorite movies, which is The Girl Next Door, with Elisha Cuthbert, which is a masterpiece in itself. The movie itself is a masterpiece because fuck having a porn star living next door. It's more so about moral fabric, and this is a life lesson that never really goes away, right? So with this, and then she said like, hey, I'm killing you because of your mom. And then the coolest fucking thing is she based on revenge, and she has a good reason to wanting to get revenge. She has a really good reason, right? Compared to the other guy. And then Sid is like, your son was crazy, you're not crazy. It's like, how dare you talk about my son like that? And it's nice because all of the emotion is, she's not insane, she's just a mother grieving and wanting revenge, which is kind of cool. So that's the end of the second movie. It's pretty good. It's not as great as the first one, but it's still very enjoyable. Now, ultimately speaking, I gotta be honest, right? I do like it. However, the second one was like, okay, well, again, Ghostface. Fuck. He's back, right? On Netflix, there's a third and a fourth. We're possibly gonna be watching them both tomorrow. For now, I'm super happy that we watch it, but there's more than that. It looks like 7 of them. But I can only watch the one that's on Netflix, because I'm not going to steal a movie, and I'm not going to stream illegally because I am paying. If I want people to watch my video without them being pirated, I have to watch movie without pirating it. Make sense? Cool. Love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. My girl, my girl.